I was so lucky have found, Studio Maria de Avila and Maria de Avila, because she was known to have she had a young company that eventually sort of disappeared. It was called El Joven Ballet de Maria de Avila, and they were like, between 14, 16, 17, 18 years old. They even made a tour to America. When I joined the studio, they were coming back, and they were very talented young dancers that went to competitions and did very well, dancers that had a high standard, you know what I mean? So I kind of went into that standard, you know what I mean? I sort of joined in. And one of the things that you learned as I came into the environment, that if you wanted to have a strong professional career, you had to leave Spain. There was really not strong enough of a company or a classical company in Spain that could give you that sort of that career. And so Spanish dancers would go to a competition, then they will be recognized, or they would have a door that would open, and then they would go somewhere. What happened to me is that at 14 years old, my parents questioned, is he gonna do it for real, right? And the intention was to go to the summer program in San Francisco Ballet School, where my teacher, Maria de Avila's daughter, Lola de Avila, had become the artistic director. So they said, why doesn't he go to San Francisco and do a summer program and see if he likes being away from home? Because ultimately, we knew that sooner or later I was gonna have to take that leap of faith and go somewhere else, leaving the country, most likely. And leaving the country means you have to learn a different culture, you're away from your parents, you need support, all of those things. And sometimes people want a dance, but they don't want to go through that sort of struggle, you know what I mean? So I went to the summer program. I was 14 years old. I was in San Francisco for 5 weeks. It was the summer of 1994, and I loved it. I came home and I was like, yeah, I want to go back. How do we do this? And at that point, there was not that much support for foreign students. Foreign students were not getting full scholarships. So then I went to the Prix de Lausanne in Switzerland, which was a very well-known young competition, which is still happening today. It's a big international competition. And that year, the final was at the Bolshoi Theater. Every few years, they choose a different theater. So in 1995, my parents and I, with my teacher, we ended up in Switzerland for the competition. And then if you made it to the semifinal, you went to Russia. And out of that group, another group of the semifinal came, and we competed in the Bolshoi Theater, and then the final. And I did very well. I was 15 years old. I had just turned 15 years old, and I won the gold medal and a scholarship. And I was not aware of what the Bolshoi, I just knew that it was a historical theater and that it was cold in Moscow and there was snow everywhere, and that we were wearing funny hats. That's all I really was able to understand. But looking back, it was an incredible opportunity, a big door that opened. And the next year, with that money that I got from the scholarship and the gold medal, I went to San Francisco. So in 1995, I found myself joining the school for full time. And I was in the school for about 2 years and a half before I joined professionally the company.